So, guys, welcome to Klizak Scholarship, your channel where we share a lot of content. And today, we're not doing different. We are discussing about what is the most interesting thing for you, and then we are talking about the second part of the Chevening interview preparation for 2020, 2025. So I know some of the guys have started going through interviews. So I hope you guys have started in the best way possible. So today I am bringing the remaining questions, and I have one of the very good questions that you guys need to get ready for it, because I know so many tricky things might happen in the day of the interview. So I want to make sure you guys are accompanied. But before it, please, if you're new in this channel, please subscribe. This is what we do. This is what I try to support those who are willing to continue their studies. A lot of content in it, and this is just the beginning of 2025. I promise a lot will still come, and I hope you guys will enjoy. So please subscribe, and then let's go to the video without further ado. So today, as I told you, oh, by the way, it's not the third session. This is, by the way, the second session of the Chevening. So we are discussing the questions that remained, and one of that question is this one here, which was the sixth question, kind of like, can you describe your plans post-Chevening? I might have mentioned it in the past, like in the previous session, but today I'm kind of trying to emphasize how important you need to just know what you want to do in a short, medium, and long term. It's going to be very useful to know about that and describe that clearly, and make sure that the panel views your writings through your speaking. So you need to make sure you know what are the values of Chevening. What are they looking to do with you? What are they looking to strengthening in your capacities to your country? So you have to be clear and aware of it. So again, this is a very tricky question. What is the UK currently doing within your country related to the field of your study? So please, this question here is simply asking, what are projects that have been funded by the UK government or the Commonwealth in the area you want to develop your knowledge on? So it's not something that the UK is just doing in general, but it is what they have funded or they are currently funding. Something that you know that they are committed to meet that agenda. And you have to make sure that you know what is the SDG, where your point of discussion is um, embedded. So if you don't know what is the SDG meaning is the Sustainable Development Goal. So the SDGs are really important, because the United Nations is looking to reach a certain level of development in those SDGs by the agenda of 2030. So you have to be aware of it. You have to be aware about what is happening in your university. In one of those that you chose, you have to know what they're doing related to your area. I think this question is just passed in a different way, kind of like immediate and short-term career plans are exactly the same. There's no different. So what is your biggest professional achievement, and how did you accomplish it? Please, we have two questions. Achievement has to be mentioned, and what was the step, or what were the steps you took to reach, to accomplish them? You have to make sure you bring a context, you explain such context, and you show what was that achievement about, and maybe what did you learn that you think you would apply during your studies or during your time here in the UK. So that is very crucial. They want to make sure that they are not only preparing someone who is just a failure, but someone who takes lesson out of his failure. They are not taking you because you're just someone who is successful, but what lessons you took out of that success. So it's all about learning. It's all about sharing what you have. So you have to make sure you tell the panel in a very compelling way, clearly articulated, and very organized, to make sure that you're not just decorating or expressing in a robotic manner what you have prepared. So you need to make sure you are speaking to them, you are discussing the content, and they are not the expert. The expert of the topic, it's you. So you have to just serve well what you have. You don't need to expect it to just satisfy the question. You need to make sure the question is satisfied, but the information is relatable and reliable. Something that even if someone wants to verify, it is of a public domain a little bit. But also you have to be a little bit deep down to, share knowledge. Yeah. So the next question, you have to explain, describe a time when you had to resolve a conflict within a team. So the key point here is you need to look at the leadership quality. This is one of those things that people might ask indirectly related to how you deal with conflict management. So it's very useful that you explain whether that might be in your workplace, it might be when you were in school, in your studies, or when you were doing your bachelor's degree. You have to be clear that I remember of this. Maybe sometime you might not be the leader of the one who resolved the problem, but you might have helped in the conflict resolution that was happening between colleagues, between classmates, and then you scaled on it and you brought the solution. And also, what was the value of what you gave as a strategy? Was it something transferable that you can use today in different settings, in school, or in other areas of life? Because it's all about having all of these transferable skills. So you need to make sure that you know and you can use it in the long run, or you can still teach others on how to apply that. Leaders are about that, um, showing the value or sharing knowledge and giving light to other people. And then here comes a bit of like not that of very tough questions. How would you contribute to the Chevening network during and after? Again, here are two questions. During your time in the UK, how are you going to contribute? And then after the studies in the UK, how are you going to continue to share knowledge, to discuss a lot more about Chevening and expand it to other people? So you have to be clear with the network you will make and how the network will benefit from you, and how are you going to benefit from the people around your network. So you have to be clear here. There is a lot about how to tell this story. You have to be clear when you explain it. The following question is going to be about what are the key development challenges in your country in general, and how you plan to address them coming to your area. Because people might sometimes ask you this question. Remember, you're just applying for one course, and there are other people applying for the other. Imagine I want to talk about the poor quality poor quality of education, but I'm applying to start, for example, a conflict resolution, conflict, peace and conflict. So I cannot discuss more about the education. I have to stick with what I want to gain expertise in the UK. So you do not want to lose focus here. Remember, the interview is not about any other thing other than what they took you to the interview. So you have to stick around with the elements that are circulating the discussion. So if the discussion is about the application of yours, please don't go off topic. It might be kind of like losing focus. So you just need to keep your focus, need to bring sustainable solutions to the discussion so they can understand how committed you are. It's really, really important. They don't want to take just losers, as I just told you. They want to take people who learn the lessons and they are able to replicate them in the long run. So it's really, really crucial. We are almost at the end. can you share an example of how you demonstrate resilience in your career or studies? Very simple question. You just need to stick with career or studies. So you need to explain when were you in challenge, what strategies you took, and how was the outcome of it, whether it was successful or not, but how did you succeed in that moment, and what were the lessons out of it. Lessons are very important in this life. Everything is about taking the lessons in negative or in positive um, experience experiences. There are always lessons, so you need to be aware of them and make sure you explain them clearly, and you know that I've been through this and I went through this problem, but I had to resolve it in my own way. Okay, so I think we just come to the end. I think it's time for me to tell you the last question. So what would be the last question? The last question would be about the question, why should we choose you over other people? No, this is a very tricky question. Why should we select you to the scholarship and not the other way around? So this question is a bit of wanting to know again of your desire to resolve problem. They want to know of your leadership value and principles that are taking you to the UK to come and serve your country. So don't be fished to start talking about I have good quality, I am a good leader, I am knowledgeable. It's not that show off that will matter into that question. Again, I'm repeating, the question is, why should we select you and not the other people? So here they want to know about the desire, the vision, the principles, your leadership actions that you want to bring them into the field and to make a change. So it's where you have to shine on, bringing all your understanding of what you would like to further know by coming to the UK, that you would not be able to learn about that in Mozambique. Let's say in any country. I'm just mentioning Mozambique because it's my country. So in any other country. So you need to make sure you shine on this question, proving them that it's only this opportunity that is going to allow me to gain these skills because of point A, B, C, D that will allow me to resolve it. So guys, I think I have just given you enough questions, and all I will wait to hear is any question you want more clarification, you can comment. I would be more than happy to clarify. That would be very, very, very nice. And yeah, it's all I had for today, and thank you guys. Any element, please just comment, give a thumbs up to the video, and I'll be more than happy to support you. So thank you for today. This is Klizak. Bye bye till the next video.